Hello everyone, it's Shel from Paper Octio Studio, and today I have the prompt music, which is for November 12th of the hashtag November Daily Art Journal 30-Day Art Journaling Challenge. So I'm starting out with a page from my jelly printed journal. Again, this is almost the very last page. I think there's one 2-page and one 1-page left. So I'm using some Dylusions paint and some stencils to create more interest on the background. I want it to be crazy, bright, colorful, lots of pattern, lots of color. So it had, pink, purple, and turquoise, but I wanted to add in more colors. And the brightest colors for acrylic paints, of course, are the Dylusions. Unfortunately, mine are gloppy at this point. They've about had it, which is unfortunate because I didn't use them up. I hoarded them, and then now they're getting more and more gloppy. This orange one's okay, but the purple, the pink, a lot of them are in bad shape. I probably should toss them, but I haven't done it yet. So just using different stencils to get more pattern and color on the background. Simple, simple. Just right over the top, no gesso or anything. There is a little bit of shimmery paint. It's PBO Dyna paint on this background. You can kind of see it shining as I move the page back and forth. It's a turquoise. It's pretty. I should have probably put some more of that in there, but I'm just going with the Dylusions this time. All Dylusions Acrylics. So once this is good and dry, I'm going to move on to the next step. I do have a complete plan for this page. I am not winging it. I know exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm getting out some dimensional chipboard letters. I got these at Tuesday morning for, cheap, like $1.99, and they're annoying. The chipboard, that they are stickers, so they have sticky stuff on the back, but then when I go to peel the sticky stuff off, half the chipboard peels off too, so I end up getting uneven, they're raised, but then they're different levels of raised, but I don't really care on this page. It doesn't matter. In fact, I would be fine if they were completely flat. I just wanted something to paint and make bright letters for my title, which is just going to be the prompt. That's it. So I'm painting these with my Dylusions paints in the different colors that I used. And then I'm going to let them dry. That's why I did this first, because I wanted them to dry. So when you look at this page, it's going to make you think about 80s music, 80s pop music, but actually it's because of the colors. Back in the 80s, there was like all kinds of crazy bright pops of color and splashed t-shirts and splashed jeans and stuff like that. So when I look at it, it's like, oh, 80s music, but it was actually just a representation of rock music, which is what I listen to. There'll be a guitar, and stuff like that. So, but I did laugh. You'll see why later. It's like, oh, splashes. You'll laugh. Anyway, so now I'm making a drawing with my pencil and just trying to do it quickly. A very simple drawing of a couple speakers or amplifiers, a guitar, and a microphone, just to give you the idea of tools that would be used in music and would represent kind of what I listen to. I've gone through all different phases of music in my life. I was even a music major in college. I played the cello and I sang, and all through high school and college I was very into music, and then I kind of got bored with it or burnt out. I've had to practice so much, and I didn't finish a degree in that, so I never became a music teacher, which is what I thought I was going to be, but I went a different direction. But I've listened to every type of music, been obsessed with every type of music at some point. But I've really kind of stuck with rock my whole life. Not so much heavy stuff. Well, sometimes I listen to Metallica or something like that, but kind of a mid-range, a lot of bass. I like the feeling of that bass rumbling in my tummy, so I search out things that have a lot of bass in it. So now that I've made my pencil drawing, I'm doing what I call exclusion, which I'm going to let the images on the page, the pictures on the page, be the color of the background, and then I'm painting out the rest of the background to make them stand out more. So for this, I'm just using the black Dylusions paint. I could have used black gesso, and I have before doing this, but I figured all Dylusions today, so I hope you guys can't hear the garbage truck. It's very loud. If you can, sorry. They're getting the recycling, so they'll be done soon. So then I'm using a flat brush, and the Dylusions paint isn't as thick as gesso, so I'm just using a regular flat brush, painting out all the bright colors all around everything that I drew. And then I'll be adding in the details later. And I tried to stick with that same brush, but then this narrow, teeny tiny little mic stand didn't work. And I had to wipe it back and switch brushes to a much finer brush, which I should have known. I mean, that was just dumb. But since the paint's going over other paint, it's all very plasticky and it wiped off very easily, and then I could go back in with a smaller brush and fill in that small space in between the taller of the amplifiers and the mic stand. And it's still not perfectly straight, but I will be adding details with pens, so I'll be able to fix it. Not be a problem. And then of course I'm going to give that a good dry, because I really want it dry. And then I'm going to put my letters on, and that letter's not dry. It had some undry spots and it kept getting on there, so I had to wipe it off. So I decided to set them over on my other side on the protection paper there over that page and let them dry a little bit more. And then I get out my Posca pens. Now if you hold the back of the pen and you flick it down, the acrylic comes out of the pen and lets you create splashes. And this is really when I said to myself, man, it looks like 80s. It looks like 80s bright splashed t-shirts and jeans. But I wanted just a little bit of color on that background because it was now all so black that I thought it needed coordination with the colors that were in the foreground images. So, splashes, lots of splashes. And then, of course, I'm peeling my letters, and for the C, I drop it on the ground. So I crawl under the desk and I try to find it, and I can't find it. It's somewhere down there. I can't find it. It's blending into the carpet. So I had to get a new C. So somewhere on the floor of my studio is a purple C. I don't know what I'm ever going to use that for, but I'll find it eventually. Things that go onto the floor of my studio get lost very often. It's a problem. And of course, I crawl under the desk to find it, and then I bang my head on the way back up. So I have a nice knot on my head, on the back of my head. I know it's there. I still bang my head every time. My studio is dangerous. It also has a slanted roof that starts normal height and then slats down to probably 3 feet. And if I go back to the back section there to try to find something in one of my drawers, I bang my head on the ceiling too. So that's probably how I got so crazy, is from banging my head too much. So now I'm using my excuse me, my fine Posca pen to like I said, add the details, and I can make the line straight again by just going along the edge where my painting wasn't perfect. It is hard to paint a straight line, trust me, it is hard. Because you start with the tip of the paintbrush and you're painting along, and then it starts to spread out the brush bristles and you get a wider and wider line. So yeah, it's tricky. It's very tricky. So I'm also going to be adding details with my black pen as well, and also my white one, inside of the drawing to make it look more like what it's supposed to be. Like the fret lines and the little knobs on the electric guitar, chords, things like that. The woofers inside the speakers or amplifiers. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be speakers or amplifiers. Could be either. And when I mess up, I just wipe it off and try again. And I'm just using a couple different circle stencils. I have bubble stencils to make perfect circles. I can't draw a perfect circle either. I can draw a okay circle. But I'm having problems with my pen, like splurting out too much ink. So I have to keep wiping back. But you get the idea of what it is anyway. You know, if I had one of those stencils that you used to have for geometry that had all the sizes of circles, that probably would have been an easy one to use on this. I don't have one of those. So now I'm just adding my white highlights, little, scratchy highlights around everything to make things more stand out more. And then just to represent music coming out of the speakers, I'm just making some little swirly lines just for fun to fill in some of that black background. And my final touch will be to stamp. I used the stamp with black archival ink at the beginning, and I'm just going to use it with some titanium white paint and stamp a few music notes. And then my page will be done. This was a pretty quick and easy and fun one, and I think it represents what I wanted it to represent. So if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below so I know you were here. Subscribe if you haven't. Share if you want to. And of course, down below there are links to my friends' pages with the same prompts, and you can go check out their pages as well. And I think that's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, I forgot. I put glitter on the letters because, yeah, glitter. You just have to do it.